Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching my presentation. Obviously, this is for my community problem for Professor Balma. Um, I have chosen to go over Fullerton College's contract with multi-billion dollar conglomerate Sodexo. So, for those who don't know, Sodexo is a company that runs our cafeteria and provides any catering needs for the campus. The school signed a contract with Sodexo in 2018, approved by the district um, through a bidding process, which actually is interesting because usually a bidding process is goes to the highest bidder, but for the cafeteria, it was for the lowest bidder, and Sodexo was the one to take it, which is ironic considering they're a multi-billion-dollar company. But the reason I chose this issue is because I'm the president of Scholars Unidos, a club for Latinx students on campus, and I'm also part of Associated Students. And as VP of Activities for Associated Students, I put on events for campus. And of course, we are going to provide food for students at, I think, every event this semester we have. But in order to do so, you need, and this goes for any program, club, department, um, it needs to go through Sodexo. So um, you need to order the food through Sodexo. Or if you're trying to bring outside food onto campus, you need to get a right of refusal from Eddie, the manager of Sodexo, um, which is difficult to do because they provide almost all food. And if they provide it, they're not going to give you the right of refusal. Um, so just working with that obstacle in my position, and also as president of SU, so like as a student running a club and stuff, I've seen the exploitation firsthand that Sodexo um, provides the school. So I actually had I asked Dr. Olivo, the president of Fullerton College, for the contract with Sodexo, and it is riddled with red flags. It's extremely vague and low key kind of constricting, and poses a lot more danger to Fullerton College financially than the other way, right? And it's going to be like that because multi-billion dollar company, community college. But it was really interesting to read the contract. And in doing so, I actually read, like, it's in the big picture, but I highlighted it at the bottom, um, stating this agreement will also not include vending services, bookstore sales of snack or beverage items, bake sales, and other associated student events, or third parties renting campus facilities. The college retains the right to use the facilities other than the kitchens. So after consulting with my advisor for AS, Joel Salcedo, and a few other folks, AS technically does not need a right of refusal from Sodexo, which is not the way it's been running for years since Sodexo signed. We go to them for everything because, as far as we know, and as far as we've been told, and as far as Eddie enforces, um, we need to go through Sodexo. And I'll show you in the next slide why this is such an issue, because they overprice everything an insane amount. And I'm literally just showing you guys examples of juices. So a gallon of orange juice is $20.99 from Sodexo. That same gallon of orange juice from Ralph's is $6.49. Apple juice, it's cheaper to get 2.5 gallons of cranberry juice than to buy one from Sodexo. And the chilled apple cider, $23.99. well, it's $6.27 at Walmart, and I can guarantee you Sodexo is not using the best brand for our events, in terms of what they're bringing to the table. So I show you guys this like for transparency, and also to give you kind of insight into where the exploitation is happening, because all of our departments, so EOPS, Promise, or sorry, programs, EOPS, Promise, Cadena, AS, Student Life and Leadership. So all these programs that are putting on these amazing events for our students, for our staff, for our faculty, want to provide food for the attendees, but they have to go through Sodexo. And then that comes the limitation of feeding less people because we're being overcharged for something as simple as orange juice. And for cheese pizza, it's $36 for a cheese pizza that feeds 10 people. Feeds 10 people because it's 10 slices. So if everybody's only eating one slice, yeah, you fed 10 people, but not really. Um, and so we have a limited budget to work with. And if you're part of a club, you also know this. Um, you are having to minimize what you're providing in order to feed more people or feed less people because you're trying to maximize the amount of food you're giving out. And um, in reality, we're just trying to put on really great events and feed our campus. And it's not to mention the $5 agreement that the school has with Sodexo for our healthy Hornet meals that are not healthy. It's pizza and burgers and quesadillas. Like, none of it is healthy. So yeah, that's where I like to say they're exploiting us, because they are, financially. And that also leads into my next point, where Sodexo, as most multi-billion-dollar companies, doesn't have a great track record. These are just a few of the points and like things, and it doesn't take much to find this information, that I found researching, Sodexo. Like, where is it? In July 2010, Sodexo paid a $20 million lawsuit under the New York, False Class Act for overcharging 21 New York school districts. So when I'm telling you it's $20.99 for an orange juice, that's being overcharged, right? So I'm in my head thinking like, well, what if we like they're doing the exact same thing to us? What falls under overcharging? And on top of that, they have a history of um, firing union supporters, and they also in 2005 had to pay $80 million to settle a lawsuit, because they denied promotions to 3,400 African American managers. Um, and also their food, and again, it doesn't take much research to find out this information, has been recalled for contamination with listeria, and that 3,000 pounds of chicken was actually served to the U.S. Marines because Sodexo was hired to, feed the Marine halls, which they lost their contract with because of that. And also in, Britain, they found horse DNA in, beef products that were being, served at 2,300 British schools, care facilities, military bases, prisons, sporting venues, and I can't read that last word, sorry. Um, but yeah, it's really, really crazy. And my solution is replacing them. Shocker. Monkey Business Cafe is a fully operational restaurant and catering enterprise that serves as a work experience slash job training site for emancipating foster youth and other at-risk young people. They're a really great business, that came out of the, Community Heart Foundation and or Community Heart Homes, where they foster um, at-risk youth and foster youth. And through Monkey Business, provide them jobs because they were finding that um, these young people were being denied jobs because they didn't have experience and because they had a record. So there was no way for them to provide for themselves. And so Monkey Business was opened to change that. And on top of that, they also um, provide them with like life training, like life skills training, and they help them become goal oriented. So it's really cool. Um, it provides a job and income for people, for young people looking for a chance at life when they've already been negated that. And they also are really great. They grow their produce at the Arboretum at Cal State Fullerton and work from scratch when possible. But I just think personally, it would be so amazing to see a local company come in and take over our cafeteria and provide us actual healthy meals that aren't with like products that aren't outsourced from other countries to get a tax break, and know that they're also providing opportunities and growth for local young people that are struggling, and not exploiting our departments and programs on campus for wanting to cater food to our campus. But yeah, I'm still in the process of like my interviews and such because this is an ongoing presentation I will be doing next semester to the president of the college and through associated students because um, I'm a strong believer that Sodexo has to go. And ideally, it would be Monkey Business, but I'm just for any ethical company that's not Sodexo. So thank you so much. Have a great winter break. Bye, guys.